pallet repair in your yard as part of your landscaping, that's never been an issue. We're not going after that. That's not how that was written. And so, just want to clarify, your landscaping will not be, no one's landscaping is gonna be touched. It's stuff growing in the wild. Am I clear on that? Am I understanding that correctly?
I mean, the current ordinance would permit it. I mean, you can structure the duties and restrict from
Right.
landscaping if desired. So you
Right.
can, this gives the broadest powers. If
Right.
you want to amend for second and third reading and restrict the broad powers, that would be permissible.
Right.
So, powers and duties of the board, I highlighted for you guys. Number 2, entering upon any land, public or private, at any reasonable time. You can put an exclusion that does not include inspection of landscaping.
Right.
So quick question, what happens if you, as a board member, seek entrance onto my property and I say, no? What is the legal ramification at that point in time?
So if they give you 48-hour notice under this ordinance, the inspectors in this case, so it would be the highway department or soil conservation, would have authority to do it. Now, as legal counsel, I would ask them to get a court order before they would go, but under this ordinance, they would have the authority and that would be issued.
Okay, so I have a weed control program going. You come in and say, that's not to my satisfaction or my standard. And I say, I'm already spraying for these weeds. What then?
That would fall under judicial review of administrative decisions. So this is similar to our unsafe building board, already in our ordinance violations, it would fall into those. So if somebody objects to the course of action that's recommended, or I've done this, you can't find me anymore, they can seek judicial review of that decision. Those are all built into ordinance violations.
So, I understand the purpose, there's no question there. Also, so the updates that you have made to this are based upon the current law
Yes,
of Indiana?
correct.
Okay.
Verbatim.
So, again, as you read this, it clicks in my brain. We established by local law, I mean, this was done in '86, but we established the Unsafe Building Board, which aligns with the rules of this very same thing.
Very similar.
Very similar. We decided at the time to appoint a Board of Works, the Unsafe Building Board, which is 3 people. This is 5. That is appointed by us. We appoint the members. I mean, ultimately, the soil and water have their own CEO, so, but the others are our appointees. So yeah. How do we have a 4-member board?
It's
one,
5.
What?
But yeah,
But one's
you have a
non-voting.
non-voting.
How's
Yeah,
that work?
non-voting,
It's
so
gonna
a
take 3-1.
4-person.
Okay.
It just makes things more difficult.
Gotcha, makes it more difficult.
But in this case, it could be appropriate.
So again, I remember the conversations that this was, people, it's an invasion of privacy, and it was a really hard decision, but, okay, so you've answered my questions. This aligns with a lot of our Unsafe Building Board, duties. We appoint the board. All of the powers and duties of the board are set out by state law. Is that correct? Am I understanding that? I asked you.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
the powers and duties are verbatim from the current Indiana code.
Okay,
Again, if you looked at our 1986 ordinance, they're not all in there, but
yeah.
those have updated in the last 40 years.
The only thing that I see that I would like to review is, and actually what Commissioner Brink mentioned, the appeal process, is that given?
It's not specifically stated in the statute. I mean, it's a matter of law in general.
Right,
'Cause
okay.
again, there's always a check on governmental
Right.
powers, and that's always judicial review.
Gotcha.
So it's inherent
Okay.
that that's there. Unsafe Building
Okay.
Board, for example, when we send out our violation notices, we go ahead and advise them of that you have a right to appeal.
Right.
I mean, you have to go through the full administrative
Right.
process before you can appeal.
Sure.
So we try to make
Understood.
it clear to
Okay.
people. I would recommend the same if this was established.
Okay, understood. Okay, that's all my questions. Any other questions? Okay. if there's comment to be made, that'll be at the end of the meeting. There'll be a section for public comment. We are going to move forward with the business. We are gonna table our next matter, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. We are discussing with the City of Vincennes an interlocal agreement for dispatching services for the city police. If we can table that. Mr. Fuller, Chief Deputy Fuller, if you want to come on up. You had emailed me about, if you'll just give a brief to everyone about the transfer of an officer
Okay,
and kind of what's going on.
so if you don't know, the Vincennes Community School Corporation has started its own police department. And they're scrambling to get things ready to go back January 6th. So they need to get equipment, cars. They've hired the initial officers. And one of them happens to be our deputy, Joshua Shipman. And they'd like to have all of his equipment as well. Now, a case could be made for the, especially for the vest, 'cause that's sized and fitted for him. In addition, we do have some other items that we'd like to sell with the commissioner's permission, or transfer, I guess would be a better word. Now, me and Aaron Luce, he would be the chief there, had come together on some things that he wanted, and I sent you an email.
Yes.
I kinda, we kinda tweaked that a little bit, so I made some copies.
Oh,
This is what we come up with. The dollar amount stayed the same, we
Okay.
just traded a couple items.
okay.
Got that.
Thank you, John.
All right, well, Andrew, if you will give us your opinion on this.
Yes, considering that this is going to an exempt organization as well as another governmental unit, Indiana Code 522.22.1 exempts all sales from public sale and purchase laws, so we don't have to bid it out or
Okay.
do any of that, so.
So, the values here that the sheriff's office has submitted to us, seem to be fair and in order. Is that an agreement?
Yeah, I don't have any issue.
Okay. I make a motion, we proceed with the sale of equipment to the VCSC, for the officer.
I'll make a motion and just, for full disclosure, Josh is my next door neighbor, so,
Is that a second?
yeah, I'll put that as a second, but
Okay.
just so you know, he is my next door neighbor.
All right.
I don't know if I,
So I have a motion and a second. And anything further?
No, that's it.
Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
aye,
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. If we need if we need a title sign,
We will need
just
the title
let me
signed,
know,
yeah.
and I'll get it done.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly, I would just know if we could include that document into the minutes in case the State Board of Accounts goes, hey, what
Sure.
happened on all these? We just got it.
Yeah.
in the minutes.
So, Lisa, this we'll make sure you get an electronic copy if we can include it in the minutes for the record in case we're audited. Okay, thank you. All right, we had claims presented to us by the auditor's office. Had you all had
I'll
time
make a
to
motion
review
to
'em?
approve the claims.
second,
I have a motion and a second. Anything further? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
aye,
Aye, motion carries 3-0. We also have payroll that was submitted. Just need to get that approved
make
as
a
well.
motion to approve payroll.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Brink, second by Hinkle. Anything further? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Okay, old business. Mr. Holden, we have bids up here. If you will please open them, tell us they're all in order and great. Finally, they did it right. That'd be wonderful.
We're hoping.
Yeah.
We had to rebid our tires and tubes, and let's figure out what you got there.
Yes, we'd
I
received
think-
two bids
and
before.
lubricants, maybe.
They did not meet the bid requirements, so we rejected the bids to be rebid. First one is Best One. We do have a bid bond, which was not before. There's two copies. I'll just read the first three. This is a tractor tire, $480. Another tractor tire, $950. This is a pickup tire, $136.94. So just a couple bulletin in there. All things in the bid were present this time. Next one is Knox County Tire. Two bids are present. Tractor tire, same ones I read on the line before, 410. Different tractor tire, 780.91. Pickup tire, 156.90. I'll kind of compare them here in a second.
I'm sure we'll take this under advisement and,
Well, I need to go ahead and award these because as of January 1, we wouldn't be able to get tires.
well, I was gonna say, do that at our 27th meeting.
Can you wait till the 27th?
The plan would be to award all bids based on pricing and availability, so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we have always
That's
done
what we've
for
done
the
in the past.
tires, yeah, as long as everything's in order with their bids.
There is the bid bond, 2 copies. So those are there. And tractor tire, same as before, 425. The tractor tire is 750 and 141 even. Going through these previously in the past, they jump around everywhere depending on where you're at. So what we've done is awarded all bids based on price and availability. So we go through, we pick out, we buy the cheaper tires where we can. And there are times that they don't have them in stock, and it doesn't make sense to have a whole crew down because of one tire being flat. So my recommendation would be award all bids based on price and availability, since all bid documents are enclosed.
All right. I'm gonna make a motion. We move forward with the recommendation of our highway engineer to accept all. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Brink. Anything further? Hearing none. Call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Old business. I don't think there's any other old business. Okay, moving on to commissioner reports and announcements. Do we have anything Justice Campus? I do not have claims. We do not have claims for December. Anything else? Code compliance. We received our notice that the Unsafe Building Board did award the demolition of the Poor Farm Building to Mullins Supply for the low bid of $60,000. There's also a secondary bid for the metal pole barn building that's been discussed for $5,000. They would normally proceed with the demolition, but considering we own it, it is before us for tonight to ratify. Any questions? Anything further?
I'd make a motion to complete the demolition after the February 20th, which would be the 6-month period that we said back in August 20th. So on the 20th of February, I would say they can tear it down. So it's 60,000 for the building itself and 5,000 for the actual pole barn that's there. So I make that as a motion.
Where did we say that? You said that.
No.
It wasn't official.
Yeah, it was.
Is that recorded? Is that
Yes.
record? Where
It
is
is
it?
recorded on Facebook.
That you said it?
That we agreed to that, and actually what it was Trent had made the motion, I seconded it with the caveat, you said not a problem, we have a
Okay,
second on the floor
why are we
with the caveat, and we approved it 3-0.
It was not part of my motion.
Anyways, okay. Well, I'm not seconding that. Is there a second?
No.
All right. Hearing none, the motion fails for lack of second. I will make a motion. We proceed with the Knox County Unsafe Building Board's award of the demolition of the building. We have made notice to entities with no response. So that's my motion.
And you're doing both buildings? Is that your motion?
Yeah, I mean, they both need to go. All inspections will be complete for asbestos as well as item approval. So there's no reason to separate, considering I'm sure that's a great discount.
I'll second that motion.
All right. Have a motion and a second to approve the Unsafe Building Board's award for demolition of the Poor Farm. Anything further? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, like sign.
Aye.
Motion carries 2-1. All right. There's in our packet the ordinance violation update. Anything else with code compliance?
Mm-mm.
All right, hearing none. Next item is ready. Chris messaged me, he is sick. I'm not gonna call you out, Rich, but any updates in ready?
We got a meeting today, again, working towards getting our county's projects in line.
Okay.
And working on still funding, the Ready One's funding, about 30%. And, there's other stuff that we need to get money to get ready.
Okay.
We're just got a year and a half to spend that money, state pressure, because we've got to be, I think, 60 or 65% of Ready One spent before we can
Yeah.
we'll start awarding, Ready Two money, but that's, most of these are infrastructure projects, so, it's that time of year, so, once spring gets here, better weather, I think we'll motor on through that pretty quickly. And
Th-
that's not just us in Knox County, that's across the
Yeah, it's everybody. Thank you. Any questions, contact Chris. Moving on, ARPA funding, we're to that magical date where we have to have everything allocated. In our ARP plan, there was, excess funds that has been sitting there, which, to my knowledge, we had always discussed that would be a part of our space. Once we went through the space study and the committee and all of those projects, that we would reevaluate where we were. This week, after discussion in our auditor's office, the contracts that we had signed for the architectural planning of projects exceeds what we had in ARPA. So I don't believe, again, the council will have issue with this, as the remaining funds that were earmarked will need to be put in a plan, finalized. Is that true? Is that my reading, understanding all the rules correctly?
Yes, under this amendment, we increased H, it's in bold. It originally was $80,000 for engagement of professional services for architectural planning.
Right.
We added the 100,000 onto that, which was roughly about what we had left. I did include a catch-all provision in there at the end. It's all in bold as well. That says all remaining funds not delineated within this plan or not fully utilized by the
The
commitments
lost
referenced
revenue.
herein
Okay.
shall be allocated to lost government revenue. All entities that received ARPA funds were granted up to a $10 million exemption for lost revenue. We only claimed $4 million, so we could have claimed all of it under this exemption. I just put that in as a catch-all, just in case, let's say, the Parks Department, because there's a 2-year lapse on when they have to be
Yeah.
spent, and so theoretically, if the Parks only spends $800,000, we're gonna see $300,000 left over, and it would fall into this. Or the YMCA only spent 48 instead of
Right.
50, so
Okay.
I just wanted a catch-all to be safe.
Yeah, we don't wanna be out of compliance. Okay,
It'd be better in our general fund than it would in the Treasury's funds.
sure. All right. Do we need to take official action? I see we do. Okay. I just need a motion to approve the amendment for the Knox County Plan for the utilization of the ARPA funds of 2021.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Brink. Anything further? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0. All right, we had submitted to us approximately a month ago from RQAW, the, the schematic design and the report thereof of how the costs would not be changed from the original, recommendation, or let me just say quote, and the moving forward of the construction documents in the contract. So, I believe that is what they're doing. Anything there?
I thought we needed a vote to go on to the,
I think Lara and RQAW just wanted approval to move to that next phase.
right.
I think, I don't know where, I only know because he called that one Friday wanting it. I don't know I haven't talked to Lara and I don't know what exactly, but reading the architectural contract, she just wants clarification that it's okay to move to the next step of bidding out and contract prep for the,
It's the documents is the
Right,
next phase.
Yeah.
and that's just emergency management operations center.
Right.
Right.
So,
I make a motion that we instruct RQAW to move to the next phase of the process that we're contracted in, and they can begin doing that.
All right, so there's a motion on the floor for approval to move forward, okay. I'll second that motion, and that's to move forward with the construction documents. Anything further? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0. Okay, any other reports? Oh, I do have something. So, as reported over the capital replacement plan of our ambulances this year, we had sent an ambulance off a few months ago. That ambulance is complete. We've received the bill. Andrew, if we can notify, I think we've received the bill for the ambulances. We just need to notify the units of the year one replacement of the capital, which is the unit, and we need to pay that. So we'll need to make notice. And
yeah,
pay
our
it.
contract has the percentage share of what
Yeah.
will come out of PS Lit. so-
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, just wanted to make sure that was out there. Any other announcements, reports, business I'm not seeing here? All right, hearing none. Now we're to the point of, we did a lot of business here today. Is there anyone wishing to speak on the business here today, of our agenda? Mr. Chatton, you'd raised your hand, feel free. If you'll, for the record, if you'll state your name.
Ray Chatton, Decker Chapel. Thank you, Madam Chairman and Board, for this opportunity. I want to stand in support of the ordinance establishing a weed board. Just as a footnote, I was the first and as well as I can remember only chairman of that organization back in '86 when it came into being, and doesn't bring back a lot of happy memories for me. I was tasked with the job of calling landowners who were in violation and asking them as kindly as I knew how to take care of that problem, and wasn't always well received. But my main stake in this whole issue is with invasive species. To me, this represents a rather small step, but a definitely needed step in the right direction. I have served on the board of an organization called State of Indiana Cooperative Invasives Management since its incorporation in 2008. We've been beating the drum about invasive species, and maybe for your benefit, Mr. Brink, over the years we've had several NDOT officials on that board. There's no doubt in my mind they appreciate the gravity of the problem, and we definitely appreciated the limit of their resources. I think this issue will eventually come down to the state legislature and the resources they're willing to commit to this whole process. Having said that, I know that a lot of the language as far as the powers and so forth sound like a nightmare of administrative overreach. I don't think that was ever the intent of the weed board. It's about education, technical assistance, and above all, raising awareness about a problem that poses a threat to our biodiversity, forest health, and resources that we have never experienced in our history. And I think 25 years from now, when our descendants are wondering why so many species are on the threatened and endangered list in Indiana, why so many of our forests can't be walked through anymore because they're too dense with undergrowth, they'll look back and say, why wasn't more done? And I think Knox County will be able to answer with the passage of this ordinance that we were trying. I think as a weed board, maybe I'll be on it, maybe I won't. I'm willing. But it's going to be about helping, not hindering, educating, and pushing the rope. So I thank you, and I thank you for your past support of what SISMA and Knox County has been trying to do regarding invasive species. I said before, say it again, it's been hugely appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here wishing to make comment today on the business? Go ahead.
Troy Hinkle again. I guess the question I have is the proposed ordinance specifically delineates agricultural land? Would that preclude any work on land? Okay.
It's all Knox County land.
Okay.
Part of that looks at the impact to agricultural production. So if a specific invasive species, let's say, had a severe impact on agricultural production, that might be a scenario where the weed board might invest its full duties on, because of the impact, kind of what Ray was saying, going beyond just education and assistance to actually fining, because there's real, that's my guess as to why that language is in there. The application is to all Knox County land.
Okay. Thank you.
And does that include all the other municipalities
Correct.
within the county?
If it's within the county, yeah.
Right. Again, a lot of business. Any other comments? Okay. Hearing none, we have another business meeting scheduled.
December 27th,
I wasn't here. December 27th. Okay.
8 a.m.
And that's
At the auditors.
at the auditor's office, 8 a.m.
Just claims is advertised.
Alright. Okay. Anything else? Hearing none, we will convene at that day and time. Just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion by
Second.
Brink, second by Hinkle, or adjourned at 7:10.
Yeah. Well, you made me read like a 6-page ordinance. I was skipping the scientific names. I wasn't even gonna attempt to hit that one. I thought about it for a bit, and I'm like, nope.
That's like reading part of the
I
Old
read the first
Testament,
one.
you know?
I can't do it. I can't do it. Not on our first YouTube thing. I'd be famous on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yep, perfectly fine. Yep. Without, yeah, you don't have to follow public purchasing laws, and you don't have to follow